Welcome to the Rent to Rent Success podcast, all about creating consistent cash flow, escaping the 9-to-5, and really living life on your terms. This is the only podcast entirely dedicated to helping you achieve rent to rent success. It's our place to inspire each other to believe bigger, to be bolder, and to be game changers for good. I'm Stephanie Taylor, your guide on this exciting ride. Let's start up the engines and get ready to fly. Hello, 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 and welcome aboard episode 41 of the Rent to Rent Success podcast. And today we're talking about bad credit and whether you can do rent to rent if your credit is bad. If you're just joining us for the very first time, welcome. And remember, do go back to episode 1, as the episodes do build on each other to give you the full view of rent to rent success. And if you're a regular here, welcome to today. And thanks for joining us again. We love having you with us. So before I start today, I want to give you an invitation to get closer. Now, some of you will be there already, but are you in the Rent to Rent Success Secrets Facebook group? It's a place with like-minded people and a chance to get to know us better and also meet some of our podcast guests who are members there too. Just search for Rent to Rent Success Secrets on Facebook or go straight to renttoRentSuccess.com/group, rentsuccess.com/group, and that'll take you straight to the group. So look forward to seeing you in there. So let's get into today's episode. You might be thinking that rent to rent might work in theory, but it's not for you because you have bad credit. And this is important because a low credit score will make it challenging to pass the referencing process with letting agents. So my answer to this question, can you do rent to rent with bad credit, surprises some people. It angers some people. And my true answer is yes, you can do rent to rent if you have bad credit. Let me explain. Some of the most successful business people and entrepreneurs started off with nothing or even significantly in debt. Many of them had gone bankrupt in the past or managed their money badly in some way. There are some provisos though. If you have gone through our 4-step credit success process, then you're ready to get started right now. And if you haven't, check these steps out first and then you can get started afterwards. So simple 4-step credit success process is this. Step 1, forgive yourself. If you have bad credit, it's likely that you've been through a challenging situation in the past, and the resulting low score on your credit file is due to choices you made in the past which have not turned out in the way you hoped. Or perhaps someone else has taken actions that have resulted in your credit score being lowered. In this case, you can forgive yourself for trusting them. This is so important because when you hold on to resenting yourself, punishing yourself, or seeing yourself as a victim and not trusting yourself, it's almost impossible to move forward positively. And feeling badly about yourself in this situation is normal too. So don't beat yourself up if you are feeling bad. But I find it useful to believe that everything happened exactly as it was supposed to. You were supposed to go through the challenging times that you did. You were supposed to overcome the obstacles that you have. You were supposed to grow stronger. You were supposed to grow wiser. And you were supposed to move forward from exactly where you are now. So forgive yourself and others for any past mistakes and plan how to move forward successfully. Believe that you will be successful in property. What you say to yourself drives your actions more than anything else. So I want you to be telling yourself, even when it doesn't feel like it, even on the days when you feel under par, I want you to tell yourself, I can do this. I will do this. Other people have gotten out of situations much worse than mine, and so will I. Step 2 is think of yourself as a wealth creator. Now, I know some people really don't like the term wealth creator, they think it sounds sleazy. What I'm talking about is beginning to think of yourself as someone who creates wealth rather than just consumes it, who makes money beyond their job rather than just spends money. And we're starting off with income. So, beyond your job, how could you create income? Rent to rent is one way of doing this. And whatever the right way for you will come to you when you keep asking the question of yourself. This was a huge mind shift for me. If you make it a non negotiable for yourself to create an additional stream of income, you will make it happen. And it's part of the reason why I've been able to build businesses and buy assets worth millions within 4 years after decades of financial mediocrity. It's as though a light bulb went on and my thinking and then my actions began to shift. So begin thinking I can create wealth in my life. I don't just have to wait for a job. I don't just have to wait for a raise. I can be the wealth creator. You can be the employer. And there's such liberation in that. And of course, entrepreneurship or business is not for everyone. But I know that if you're listening here, it's for you. You're interested in doing your own thing, in being more, in having more, in making more, in giving more. And so offer yourself that idea, if you're not fully embedded with it yet, that you can be a wealth creator, not only a wealth consumer, because that thinking will drive your actions more than you know. And there is a way for you to create more value and more income in your life beyond your employment. So, step 3 is fix the bucket and your credit. Money flows. And in the UK, even if you're earning an average salary, it's a lot of money. With an average salary of £25,000 per year, in the last 10 years, you've had £250,000 come through your hands. Okay, yes, you have to pay tax on it, but even what's left is significant. And many of us are not very intentional about the way that we look after the money that comes to us. When we are intentional, we can grow it and become wealthy even on what is considered a low salary. And we can do that by buying assets. Now, you can learn more about this concept in the book, The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas Stanley and William Danko. It's the story of how people on average salaries can amass massive wealth over the years just by doing the basic things of harnessing that income that comes in and being really intentional with it, not spending money by accident, which I used to be very professional at. So typically, getting into debt requires more money going out than coming in. And we need to ensure that your income bucket doesn't have holes in it. It means working out how you can live within your income. I've already mentioned that this isn't the main focus. The main focus is becoming a wealth creator. But meantime, your bucket mustn't have holes in. So this is a secondary. You need to give yourself the space to look at your life and say, if I could change everything, what could I change in my life that would allow me to live within my income, and then make those changes? You will then want to look for easy wins to increase your income too, such as selling things you no longer need. And I know that you're thinking about anyway, possibly getting started in business and making extra income that way. Once you can live within your means, you can focus on fixing your credit. Now, the good thing here is that bad credit is not forever. It's only for 6 years that it's on your file. There are 3 main credit reference agencies. There's Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. So get your free credit reports from each of them and look at what you can do to improve your score. If you've got a county court judgment, make sure it's satisfied. And if you really want help with this, I really recommend Emmanuel Asuquo. You'll see in the podcast that he has been on talking about how to get smart with your money. And he has a fantastic Instagram channel. He's also on LinkedIn. He's everywhere. And he's got fantastic services that will help you to get on your feet with your money. So strongly recommend you check him out. Now, step 4 is pay yourself first. So once you've got those foundations in place, you forgive yourself. You think of yourself as a wealth creator. You fix the bucket and you begin to fix your credit. Once you're here, the final part of the puzzle is to pay yourself first. You remember it from Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He's talked about, Kiyosaki talked about, you need to pay yourself first. You need to have money to invest in your business. And to do that, you need to save some of the money that flows to you, keep it and make it grow. That's what investing is, whether it's in business or whether it's in property. So when you get to a point where you can save and you have some savings, you're then ready to get started in rent to rent. And rent to rent is a great way for you to make more money to pay off your debts faster if you still have them. Now, when you start this process, your credit will improve over months. It won't improve overnight. So when you do start in rent to rent, I encourage you to work direct with landlords. Most landlords will not ask you for a credit report. You just need to make sure that your income and savings are such that you can afford to take on a rent to rent property. You need to have a good foundation of some money so that you can meet your obligations under the rent to rent agreement. It's a fantastic way to start and build a business, to become a wealth creator, and to really make changes in your life. And you'll have heard the success stories within the podcast of all the rent to rent rock stars who've made massive changes in their lives. If you'd like to find out more about rent to rent and see if it's right for you, then sign up for our free rent to rent success guide and masterclass. It's at renttorent.com/guide. That's rentsuccess.com/guide. Until next week, have a great rest of the week, guys. And remember, believe bigger, be bolder, be a game changer. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Thank you so much for listening. If you like the links for anything mentioned in today's episode, or if voice is not enough and you want to see us on video too, you can find all the show notes and lots more at renttorentsuccess.com. That's rent number 2, rentsuccess.com. If you've enjoyed today's episode, we'd super appreciate it if you would take a few minutes to review it in your podcast app. Remember, we'll be donating to our B1G1 charities too for each review you give. Until then, believe bigger, be bolder, be a game changer.